Yo boys, it's 4 a.m, I'm bored, and I haven't got a video nearly done yet, and it's been a week. So I'm gonna make a video basically talking about target switching and the ways to do it and the ways that you can improve to make videos like me, if that's what you're looking for. I see a lot of people in my comments asking sensitivity, how do you train, how do you do this? So I'm going to run through a few things and hopefully help someone, and also get a video out because I have had a horrible week financially and there's a lot of things going on in my life right now. So to be completely honest, I haven't even finished half recording a video yet. So I'm going to do this mainly on Modern Warfare to show you my tips and tricks on how to do it. Modern Warfare is pretty much an accessible game that most people who make this content actually play now. So we're going to run through Modern Warfare. It runs across all sorts of games, but I'm going to primarily focus on Modern Warfare. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about the types of target switch content that's out there. There's the Neo Ninja cheated content. There's the muscle memory target switching, like, for example, EXO from Team EXE. He is very good at that. And there's also the RNG playstyle, which also gives everyone who makes this content a bad rep, because not all of us can just swing our mouses around like idiots and hope something hits. Sometimes we do, throw a couple clips like that in there, but a lot of the time, stuff you see on this channel is muscle memory stuff, or stuff where I know where people are. It's very rare I'll use an RNG clip, but some people, that's all they do. And I'm not going to point fingers, but what we're going to focus on is muscle memory target switching and how to actually improve. And the best ways I figured out, Kovacs and outside of Kovacs for Modern Warfare in this example, but it runs, you can do this on all games, like I said. Alright, so let's run over Kovacs real quickly and some scenarios and maps that you can use to improve your general target switching. So obviously, most of the Sparky benchmark maps are pretty solid, like the pat target switch, no reload. You got the bounce 180 tracking, which I don't really recommend. Kints NR with Kints no reload is pretty decent. Dev TS goated NR, so Dev target switch goated, no reload. And Vox target switch is probably my favorite out of the 5 I've just mentioned. If you mess around with those and you look at the Sparky benchmarks, scores and stuff, you can get a rough idea of how you're improving. And it's a good starting point, but you don't want to just primarily put all your time into Kovacs. My opinions of Kovacs people and people that put a lot of time into aim trainers was really negative until recently. I've changed my views on the whole Kovacs thing, but I still believe that you need to focus more on in-engine practice and routines. But obviously Kovacs can help. If you're pretty new to it, it's a good start. It's a good way to gauge and how to force yourself into switching your mouse instead of just moving it along like 99% of people who play games do. So that's pretty much it for the Kovacs front. Let's talk about in-game. There's a few things I do in-game. So let's jump in-game. Okay, so I am recording this with OBS. Hopefully it doesn't sound too weird. I won't be on OBS for too long. I just want to show you something. So you come into multiplayer, right? You go into private matches, you create your own custom game. What you want to do is primarily focus on maps you're going to be playing the most, especially with this sort of stuff. You would focus on shipment or shoot house, really. Shoot house playlists and shipment playlists come out pretty often. The Rust is a good map you could also practice. You can practice on any map really, but I would recommend starting on Shoot House, as that's probably the most common map for when Infinity Ward put out a new playlist. So what you want to do is you want to just go to game setup, choose Shoot House, choose Team TDM or whatever you want, doesn't really matter. You want to go to game rules, set the time limit to unlimited, whatever points you want. Basically, you just tune this to whatever you want, like max mags. I think it's somewhere in gameplay here. Spawn ammo mags, you want to put that to max. You want to come out of that. You can also save this, create a custom, so you don't have to do this every time. And you want to go to bot setup, right? So you want to go friendly bots 0, and you want to go enemy bots. I usually leave it around a 6, 7, or sometimes 8. You don't want to put it on recruit though. You don't want to do that. Otherwise, they just lump up in areas and they follow each other, and it's not very efficient. What you want to do is you want to put it to mixed. So you're going to get a mixture of the recruit bots, and you're going to get the hardened and the veteran bots. And the veteran bots and the hardened bots, they move around like normal players, or as close to normal players as you can get. Okay, real quickly, I just want to run through two settings in the sensitivity, right? Choose between instant or gradual. Gradual's default, and what that means is basically as you're ADSing, it'll gradually change into whatever these settings are, right? Which is fine, which is default, and it doesn't really make that much of a difference, but personally, I've got massive ADHD, so I use instant. And I've been using it for ages, and it's personally better than gradual in my opinion, but it's very slight that you notice it. It's not too bad. The main one that I want to talk about here is monitor distance coefficient, which is basically uniform soldier aiming for anyone that's played Battlefield before. And anyone that's played Battlefield before knows this is usually set to 133%. The dot is just Activision being Activision, but this basically just ignore the dot and just picture this as a percent. So this would be 178%, right? And this is what most people are running now. It's closer to the Hipfire ADS, but 133%, which is 133 is fine, which is the default, and that works fine. But you'll notice if you mess around with it, you'll notice that 178 is actually a lot cleaner and feels closer to 1:1. I was running 133 on Modern Warfare for a long time. I've only recently switched to 178, and I notice a pretty big difference when it comes to hipfire to ADS sensitivity, and I like it. But personally, some people don't like it, so you just got to mess around with this. Don't just use it because I'm using it. Just mess around with it, and if 133 works better for you, use 133. Or if 178 works for you, then use 178. So you just start the game. I've already recorded some stuff, so I'm going to put it on over the top right now. And what you'll notice is you want to go to the center of the map as much as you can. And the main goal here is to basically just switch to different angles. Learn your muscle memory, and you want to switch to those angles. So a lot of the time I'll hit stuff is, like, if it's semi-RNG, it's usually muscle memory because I know where to aim, like when I'm looking around and stuff like that, and it helps a lot, right? As you can see here, the more you do it, the more you get used to the angles. It's called angle snapping. So once you play the map a lot, and you do this, you don't have to do this much, just maybe 10-15 minutes a day, mix it with some Kovacs, target switching scenarios, and you'll get a pretty good feel of it. And over time you'll start noticing that you're actually just snapping to angles automatically. It's just muscle memory, and that's where muscle memory target switching comes into. It's probably the best way to do it in engine for Modern Warfare. Obviously you can just play the game and do it that way, but if you want to accelerate, you can just play this a few times a day, or if you want to go all out, you can just consistently play it until you learn the angles perfectly on most maps. I wouldn't do it on all maps because some maps, you don't play much, like, unless it's a playlist. When a new playlist comes out, you can just go to queue up the playlist maps and then go for it. And I mean, that's pretty much it, really. There's not much else I can really say. It's all just practice. It's all knowing the maps and the angles you need to snap onto. And I don't want to make the video too long, but I'll leave it there. So basically, hopefully I've left you with something that could definitely help you out. For people wondering, I play on a 28cm 360 sensitivity, which is roughly 6 mouse sense in-game, 800 DPI, and I'm playing at 500 Hz. And I recommend most people to play 500 Hz if you want the smoothest possible performance on your mouse. But if you're all about that precise timing and you have a really good PC, I would recommend going 1000. But for me, I've always used 500, even though my PC, as you can see, I'm getting better frame rates than I was before. It's pretty decent. I still use 500 Hz. So I hope I've helped someone out here. It's a really weird and all over the place video, but hopefully you got some tips out of it or something and you take something away from it. I'm working on 2 different videos slowly. Like I said at the beginning, I've had a crappy week, so those will be coming out pretty soon. And quick thanks for all the views on the Roblox video. I can't believe that actually popped off like it did. So the Roblox video and the beta video, that was pretty cool stuff, man. Appreciate all you guys, and hopefully some of you guys start making content like this. It'll be interesting to see. Also, follow me on Twitter, please. It's always in the description, in the bio of every video I make, and I'm very active on there, and I'd love to see you guys around, but I know most people don't use Twitter, so it's not a must. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in about a week when I upload a new video. Laters.